Good day for political chaos is when question time is on and David Dimbleby can calm us all down. David, has him been nice and calm in the production office today then?
It's not our aim to calm you down. We're always very calm. It's the audience that isn't.
And talking of audience then, David, we heard a lot of angry people there in our little film that we've just showed in our studio. A lot of people didn't realise that the actual referendum was advisory and not binding. I mean, did you see this chaos coming?
But that's what I don't understand, that the government itself said 5 years ago that referendums don't instruct Parliament, and that's all the judges said. They said if you're going to have a referendum, it's only advisory unless you make it very clear at the time that it's not advisory, that it's one that compels Parliament to do something. And they didn't do that.
No,
so
they didn't.
I don't understand why. It's as though they nobody had thought this thing through. It's weird. I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to necessarily affect... I mean, obviously, I think it's very interesting what happens next. But, you know, this thing may go to appeal, it may be accepted, maybe not, but I don't know.
So, David, the programme tonight is from Watford, where Leave won by 252 votes against its own MP, who voted Remain. So what sort of reactions, then, are you expecting this evening?
Well, it's difficult to say. My impression is that there are some MPs who say, like Ken Clarke, I've always been a Remainer. My constituency actually did vote Remain. I'm going to vote whatever happens for Remain. My impression is that for most MPs, the 17.5 million is enough. You know, they asked the British people what they wanted, they got the answer, and maybe they'll, you know, grit their teeth and vote, you know, for the Article 50 or whatever it is they're asked to vote on. I mean, there may be some that don't, and the Scottish Nationalists presumably won't, because they're all in favour of remaining in the EU. But I think, I mean, the politics is much more interesting than the legal judgment. What happens now? Clearly, the Prime Minister's now, you know, been brought to a halt and has got to decide what to do. And clearly, it offers the opportunity for all sorts of shenanigans going on, people wanting to sort of have soft Brexit, hard Brexit, all that. And it opens, which everybody's been saying, the possibility that if she doesn't get her way, she can call a general election. And if the country votes the way it voted, you know, she'll be back with the majorities, presumably. That's what she hopes.
What message do you think that this is throwing out to the rest of the world?
Well, I suppose the Europeans are laughing, and I think people are probably very puzzled by it. But actually, I think that for the judges to say that an act by the executive, by the Prime Minister, would be illegal is a good thing for our Constitution. You know, the executive, the Prime Minister, number 10, they can't be all-powerful. Parliament is more powerful, and that's basically what the judges have said. It doesn't mean Parliament won't go along with the Prime Minister, but it means Parliament has to, in the end, decide. We can all vote however we voted on the referendum, but that's advising Parliament or something. So I think that, you know, people who value the way that the constitutional democracy works, unless they want to have everything decided by referendum in future, which obviously some people do, you know, use the internet, vote online, change this, change that. But that's a different way of running the country. At the moment, we have the way we have it, and that's been reinforced, I think, by this.
OK, well, David, listen, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Have a great show in Watford. I'm sure you will, and it's going to be a pretty lively debate. Question time from Watford tonight at 11:15 on BBC One.